Welcome back and happy Friday to all of our flower friends out there. This week, let's get into our bucket that is full of all of the best Mayflowers. We've got peonies, garden roses, hydrangeas, scabiosa, so much good stuff. We're gonna do our mechanics with hydrangea as the base first. Same as we did last week. We did this a lot here actually, and it's really nice because it gives us the opportunity to create a natural grid that doesn't require tape or foam or anything like that. Just using these hydrangeas as a base. They're white, so they're not super cool, I guess, but they're very fluffy, very fresh, and just perfect shade to go with all the other flowers in our bucket this week. So depending on the size bucket you have either 2 of these or 3 of these. So in this one's our larger size. So I'm gonna do the 3, I'm gonna put them together, and sometimes you have to edit your hydrangea a little bit to make it into a nice round bouquet, but the goal is to get it into, it doesn't have to be perfect, but to get it into generally a somewhat round shape, right? So the goal is here, round bouquet, tie right underneath the lateral stems. I'm gonna cut them short first so it's a little bit easier to tie off, and I'm going to use raffia covered wire to do this. You can use steel wire, wax wire, tape, anything that you like, waterproof tape actually. And we're going to take whatever you're using and go around the stems right underneath the blooms once or twice. You don't have to get crazy with it. And then we're gonna take the 2 untied ends off to one side and twist it off just like you would tie a bag of bread, okay? Don't try to tie it in a knot or anything like that, just make it nice and clean and simple. And then trim off your excess. Measure it to that bottom third of your vase and trim the stems at an angle when you remember. Clean off any little knobs or nubs or leaves that could go down in there, and then we're gonna pop it right in. We want it to sit flush, on top of our container so that it doesn't jiggle around. If you cut your stems too long and it moves around, you want to pull it back out, give it a retrim, put it back in. Then you'll know that it's nice and secure. Our goal, if you've followed along with us for any of these, is not to cover it completely, but it's just allowing us to be a little bit more strategic with the greenery that we're using. So greenery this week in question is some coculus. Give a little bit of a tropical flair, a little bit different shaped leaf than what we do with the salal or the lemon leaf. And the nice thing about this is you can cut it into segments and get a little more bang for your buck. So I'm gonna cut it here, and you'll see I cut it right above where the leaf comes off, so you don't have like a knob or a nub without a leaf on it. It looks pretty much continuous, and then you have your top piece also. So I'm gonna go ahead and take any leaves off that would go into our water, because we don't want any leaves going underneath the hydrangea into the water, because it'll cause decay, and it'll make the bacteria grow in the water, and it will, unfortunately, make your flowers last less. And I'm gonna pop these things in a somewhat radial fashion, so coming this way, this way, this way, this way, crisscrossing underneath to form a little bit of a nest underneath. And I'm gonna continue to do that with all of the pieces in my bucket, editing off any of the leaves at the base that are going to get in the way of further stems, or that are going to go underneath of the hydrangea and possibly go down into the water, which we do not want. Again, take up any pieces, any nubs that could get stuck on other flowers, tuck that in like so. The nice thing too about the coculus is it gives a little bit more of a spread for your arrangement, a little bit bigger, so a little more space to fill in with the flowers. It doesn't feel quite as tight. Very good for promoting a little bit more movement in your arrangement, so that doesn't stay too static or too moundy. Not that there's anything wrong with moundy arrangements, they're really nice too. But we're gonna go through a little bit more layering and a little bit more of a garden styled arrangement for this one. Just scoot this out of the way slightly. So you can see this is kind of, you see them all around. If you wanted to do something a little bit more styled, or if this is going to go somewhere where it's only viewed from one side, you could concentrate on one side of the arrangement rather than all the way around. I'm designing this to be more of a centerpiece or coffee table piece so that it will be seen all the way around. So I'm spreading these guys out, all kind of coming out like spokes on a wheel from the top. You don't want to put something into your base back here that's going that way, because it's going to put stems underneath, it's going to get in the way of the rest. I'm going to put them all in kind of in an organized fashion, forming that foundation, that nest underneath. It's going to hold the rest of your flowers as we go forward. So we got this far. Next, we have these beautiful garden roses. These are, let's leave off, Miyabi. Check these out. They will get so big and open. They're super pretty. They're a little bit on the tighter side now, so they have good longevity. If you want to get them to open a little bit faster, you can cut them into warm water. I am working with cool water right now in my vase. You can trim it at an angle, maybe give it a little bit of a blow, maybe give it a little bit of a roll, get it started here, and don't worry, it will continue to open on its own. Take off any guard petals. There usually aren't that many on there, and especially with garden variety roses, you don't want to take too many off because sometimes some of the pretty color, some of the interest in the bloom comes from those outer petals. So don't get too crazy with picking them all off. You'll end up with an old-fashioned sort of Hershey Kiss looking rose, and that kind of robs these guys of their beauty because they will get nice and big and open, super pretty. You can see this one is a little bit more open, so you see what you're in for here. Center is nice and peach. The outside is really pretty pink. So that bicolor going on. I also love that the pink in these is a little bit towards a lavender, so it incorporates nicely with all the flowers in our bucket this week. All right, see, nice and warm, peach tones. And I have these all going in sort of radially like I was saying before, but not all at the exact same height. You don't want it to be like a mold, right? You want it to be a little bit more organic looking. I'm gonna tuck this one more in the center. I'm gonna put it down a little bit, because I find that when you sink a flower more into the center of your arrangement, instead of having it coming up like a sphere, it gives it a little bit more of a flowy feel, right? So it feels like kind of mounds out, it's like overflowing the vase versus coming to like a weird kind of point on top that feels a little bit too conforming. So got this guy in the middle here. Now we've got these lovely stock. Here we go. So pretty. Peach is the color here. They have some nice greens on them, but I always take them off. The greens do turn yellow pretty quickly. And if they're a little bit bendy, because they do kind of grow towards the light, I like to give it a little bit of a gentle bend, just kind of get them straight for the arrangement. Sometimes if you have a really leggy stem where you've got like a whole lot of green and like no buds and no blooms going on, you can just pop that off. You're gonna take the tip off like right here where the blooms stop, and then it'll give you a nice full, I guess, linear, but still kind of a little more squatty, especially if you're doing something that is more moundy or you don't want these guys sticking out as much. You can definitely just take those tops off. Sometimes when I'm straightening the stems, I accidentally break the tops off, so that the decision is made for me. But most of the time, if you're careful, you can get them a little bit straighter without breaking them. Or if you feel like you don't want that top anyway, just break it off. Now these guys, again, I'm coming in around the outside. I don't want them sticking out too far because I don't want them to look like arms or something. But, and I can always edit them back down once I get the rest of my blooms in. But I'm letting them stick out a little bit further from the flowers or from the rose blooms because I want to get a little more size on this arrangement. I don't want it to be super, super tight. So I bend this guy this way. See, there we go. And this is where we start to make decisions about height. You know, do we want some of them to come up a little bit higher, some of them this one up, these guys out. Thinking about that sort of diagonal symmetry, or maybe something tall this way, balanced by something low this way. Just make sure with your placements are purposeful. That's the whole benefit of using the hydrangea as the base here, is that you can do that. So I've got something going on here. I feel like I need something in here. So you turn it, and it kind of like fills in that space there. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, nobody's exactly the same. Everyone's got a little bit of room to move. Next up, another linear flower, which I love, Veronica. This one's a nice pretty white color. And these have lovely greens as well. You just want to take off the ones that, again, might end up going into your vase water. But you can leave these ones on top if you'd like, just because it gives a little bit more color. And since there aren't a lot of greens in the bucket, it brings a little bit of greens into the arrangement as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these guys in. And depending on which bucket you have 3 or 5. This is our large size, so it has the 5. We just want to make sure, especially like when we're placing these in between the other linear flowers, that we don't have them sitting against each other or going exactly in the same line as another one. You want to make sure that you're getting plenty of like movement. Some of them can be a little bit lower, kind of sprawling out from your vase, like here. You just don't want them like laying on each other, you know. Everybody gets their own space to occupy. And at the end, once you have all of your blooms in, it'll be much easier to see. You can go through and make your edits to make sure that everything has its own space and isn't, if you're viewing it and you have 2 of them that fall in line the same way, what basically happens is it eliminates one, right? So it's getting the most bang for your buck in your floral design is definitely allowing all of these flowers to have their room to shine. Speaking of the greenery on the stems, to bring a little more greenery into our arrangement, we have these really lovely Clematis or Clematis, depending on, I don't know how old you are maybe, or who told you. My grandmother always said Clematis. I always did my entire life. Then when I got into flowers, everyone's like, no, it's Clematis, which sounds weird to me, but it's fine. So these need a little bit of editing. So obviously you're not gonna put these all the way in and have these leaves on here. So what you could do if you wanna use the leaves is trim it here. As long as this is long enough to get into the water, you're good. You take these two larger ones off so that you're really just kind of working with two buds of bloom and the leaves coming off here. Since it's a little bit shorter, I'm gonna go in on the outside so that I know that it's gonna hit the water. And then I can use this green elsewhere. Again, just to bring another texture in to our greenscape here. So it's not all just one thing hanging out here. We got these guys. I'm gonna take these off so it's not going through the hydrangea and making a big space. I'll keep these little buds on for texture. I'm gonna let these guys float. They have a really nice shape to their stem. They have this really cool leaves coming off and foliage. So just edit it down to what you want it to look like. I'm gonna take the big leaves off that one this time, take these off down here, and then I'm gonna hold on to this little bud for later. I got this, and he's nice and long, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it into the arrangement so that it really can shine. You know, you really wanna see all of that articulation in the stem. Gives a nice bouncy movement to the arrangement. It's all about flowers from this time of year. You wanna see all of that movement like it's growing naturally. This is a little bit squattier with how it's arranged on the stem. So I'm gonna pick it down to a bloom and just a couple of greens. And again, place it into my arrangement, coming out to the side so that you can see it apart from the other ones. And then this guy I'm gonna put in over here because there aren't any on this side yet. Take these guys off. Take these guys off. Oops. Put this here. So we get that lavender color all the way around. Like I was saying earlier, it really blends in nicely with the kind of darker pink, more fuchsia tone that's going on in the outside of the Miyabi roses. So we got these guys all in. And again, we can adjust these more towards the end if we need to, but right now it's just sort of about finding space for everybody and getting that good layering, that good texture. Next, we have some peonies because it is their season. These are etched salmon. They are among my absolute favorite ones. I have these in my yard. They don't bloom very well for me, but we get them here and they are beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and place these. And since these are kind of like, you know, one of the rock stars, we really wanna let them be seen. Just let them kind of pop out of the base a little bit, give them room to open. They will pop a little bit more. You don't wanna smother them down in there. Give them their space, and they're on pretty strong stems, so you don't really have to worry about them breaking. Put this guy in here. There we go. Maybe move this guy down a little bit so it's not taking up the same space as this one. Back a little bit. Keep adjusting as we go. All right, so now we have this going on, which is really nice. Unfortunately, there wasn't a ton of foliage on the peony. Sometimes you get a lot of foliage on the peony or peony, as some people say. You can use that in the arrangement as well, but unfortunately these didn't have much foliage on them, so we just have to use them for their blooms, which is fine. There we go. And then we have this really beautiful Scabiosa. It's a super soft pink, like kind of a blush, almost white. So pretty, just a hint of color. And for these guys, you'll notice they have lots of little buddies tagging along, so we definitely want to hold on to those and use those in the arrangement as well for texture. I find these drink better when I cut them above I guess like they're kind of like the grow lines where they have these buds breaking off from them. So I'll usually cut them right on that nice long stem, the unbroken part. But if you really want to get one that's sticking out, they'll still drink okay, but you can leave them a little bit longer if you don't have them like that. This one's nice because it has like a lot of space there, and they didn't have any of those little buds coming off. But then the buds, again, just take those greens off if we're worried about them going into the vase. I'm gonna tuck those in as well. And these are gonna give so much movement in our vase. Just lots of cool floating. I always like to imagine it kind of like a butterfly landing on a flower. I know that's hokey, but it really does, like the way that they just like kind of hover and move above it and have like a little bit move around in the breeze, really what makes it special, especially this time of year with these types of flowers that are growing outside right now, or in the case of peonies, getting ready to finish up, sadly. Depending on where you live, they might be totally done. Let me get this guy in here. I'm not going to forget about my guys from earlier, making sure that the stems are clean. And here we go. Oops. There we go. Okay, these might be a little bit too short to use in there, so I don't want to put them in there if they're not going to hit the water. Yeah, so here we go. And we're gonna move it around a little, see what we got. See, like right here, I don't like that. I don't like how they're touching each other, so I'm going to adjust them so that, like I said, they all have space to shine. Move this guy out a little bit. Turn your arrangement. There we go. Sometimes their stems are a little bendy, so it's tough to get them to go where you want, but just keep moving them around. They'll find it. Tuck that guy in, tuck that guy in. Maybe some of my bulkier flowers I can let go into the arrangement a little bit more, down into the center of that container, and just let the softer floaty blooms hang out on top. There we go. And there we go. All right, so when you're finished with all of your adjustments, everybody has place to grow, everyone is layered into the arrangement nicely. Then you are ready to place it. Just make sure you're filling it with water. You're changing that water as regularly as possible. Probably not every day, but probably I would say every other day. Just pull the whole thing out. That's another benefit of tying the hydrangea, is that it kind of stays together as a bouquet with all of the stems kind of spiraled around it as you were designing it underneath. So you can pull this whole thing out, just get your hands on there and pull it like so, plug it back in, dump the water, refill it with water, stick your finger in there periodically just to make sure that there is water in there, and then all of your blooms are in it, and you should be good. You should get, good like 4 or 5 days on most of these flowers, and as some of the older ones expire, just take them out, redesign the other ones, and just keep it going for as long as possible and really enjoy it as the flowers continue to open, as the stalk continues to bloom out to the ends. There we go. The peonies continue to open, the roses continue to open. Okay, all right, so here we go. It's a lovely garden-inspired base for us this week. If you like what you see here, if you'd like to see something in particular, type of flower, type of design, something you just want to talk about, ask any questions, questions about the flowers that we used this week, questions about the flowers that are available seasonally here, please shoot us a question or a comment down in the comments. Follow along with us, subscribe. If you're in our area and you want to order one of these buckets for yourself, you can hit up our website, www.flowersandfancies.com, all lowercase, all one word. And I guess the lowercase doesn't matter, but you can go there and you can order one of these buckets for yourself, or you can order one fully designed where we'll do all of the hard work for you and you can just enjoy it. But if you like this kind of DIY stuff, or you like doing centerpieces, or just designing in your own home, definitely give us a follow. Definitely look up on our website all that we have to offer, and feel free to communicate and let us know like what you look forward to seeing. And of course, share your pictures with us when you can. We love to see that too. Tag us on social media, Flowers and Fancies, so that we can reshare and we can see all the work that you do with the flowers, which we love. And apart from all of that business, we are done for this week. So have a great week, and till next Friday, happy designing.